Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here. I just kind of had a couple other thoughts I wanted to talk about on Legends of the Sea Devils, and I really want to discuss what, in my opinion, is the biggest flaw of the story, its biggest cardinal sin, basically, the biggest mistake it makes and what holds it back more than anything. Now, before I talk about that, there were a couple things I meant to mention in my review. There was so much I was talking about it because I lost track of my mind. One is that Superman jump that the Sea Devil makes from land onto the ship toward the beginning. What? It just comes out of nowhere. Just suddenly he can jump like Superman. I want somebody to do a fan edit of that where he's jumping and the John Williams Superman theme is playing in the background. Dun, 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 dun. Because it just, I've never seen a Sea Devil do that before. Seems to come out of nowhere. Also, I'm trying to figure out how he can suddenly appear in a puff of smoke, but he's the only one who can do it. Like, he has like this Darkwing Duck thing going where there's, excuse me, where there's a puff of smoke, and he just steps through it. Now, I have already done a review on Legends of the Sea Devils, so this is not going to touch on everything about it. If you'd like to check out that review, you can check out over here, because it's like a 25-minute review. But going back to that, I'm sitting here wondering, what's up with this Sea Devil? He seems to have, like, superpowers. I mean, is he the last Sea Devil of Krypton who was trained by a magician? Is that how the story goes? The last Sea Devil of Krypton, right before the planet exploded, he was launched out by his parents, where he crashed on Earth into the ocean and was raised by Darkwing Sea Devil and his sidekick, Launchpad Mac Sea Devil. Is that what happened? That out of the way, I talked about in my review how I actually liked some of the scenes when Yaz and the Doctor talk about what's going on between them, because I thought that was really well done. I liked seeing some of the Doctor's point of view on that and their thoughts on it. But I didn't like that line when the Doctor tells Yaz, you're one of the most amazing people I've ever met, or whatever she says, paraphrasing, one of the most amazing people I've ever met, one of the most important people I've ever met, including my wife. That rings hollow to me because I've never felt Yaz has had that kind of character development, especially not with the Doctor. The Doctor's been so closed off to her. They never feel like they have that rapport that so many other companions have with the Doctor. Sarah, Joe, Jamie, Rose, even Ace, so many, Martha, so many that they seem to have together. Lord, the 10th Doctor and Donna. I never feel that with them. So my knee-jerk reaction to that was, no, I'm not buying that, no. Then I thought about it and I realized that I've always imagined there's a big gap between the end of Series 12 and the beginning of Flux. Much like how it seems like there's a big gap between Season 17 and Season 18. The end of Shadow and the beginning of Leisure Hive. There's a big gap there of time. I get the feeling there's a big gap there between the end of Series 12 and where Flux picks up. And who knows, maybe even a few years have passed, so they've had time to grow and become better friends and connect better. That's possible. That is possible. I'm willing to let that comment go under that belief that there is a lot of adventures they've had together, just the two of them together, to really bond, that we just didn't see. They happened off screen. So I'm willing to let that go over that, even though my initial thought was that it rang really false. Moving on from that, the biggest mistake of the Sea Devils, at the end of the day, its biggest issue and its biggest flaw is not that it's bad, because I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's bad. Trust me, there's a lot of bad Doctor Who stories out there. I mean, we have The Gunfighters is bad. Power of Prowl is bad. The Fury from the Deep animation is bad. Fear Her is bad. Oxygen is bad. In the Forest of the Night is bad. There's a lot of bad Doctor Who out there. This is not bad. I can handle some bad stories, like Listen is bad. But Listen is good until it's bad. It's the ending that ruins Listen. And it tries to do something different, it just ruins it at the end. Same problem with The Magician's Apprentice. The Magician's Apprentice is bad. It's my least favorite Dalek story. But it has a lot of really good ideas. Both of those, Listen and Magician's Apprentice, are examples of Moffat trying to be too clever for his own good. And Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar, are both good all the way until they're not. At the end of which is familiar. This doesn't do that, because I'll at least give them credit because they tried to do something different. And I can handle that. I can handle bad if you're at least making an effort. No, the biggest sin for me, the biggest problem Legends of the Sea Devils has, is that it's uninteresting. It is just uninteresting. And a consequence of that is that it's forgettable. I find Legends of the Sea Devils totally forgettable. And because of that, it has very little rewatchability value to me. It's not something I can see myself going back to want to rewatch. You know, I think a lot of people might want to compare it to something like, say, Warriors of the Deep. That doesn't work for me. See, Warriors of the Deep is more comparable to, like, say, Orphan 55 to me. You know, decent story with a terrible ending. Whereas, to me, if I wanted to compare Legends of the Sea Devils to a classic Doctor Who story, I think the modern equivalent, I think Legends of the Sea Devils is the modern series equivalent of Terminus. It reminds me a lot of Terminus. Because Terminus, I don't think is a bad story. I don't think it's awful. I don't think it's bad. It's just uninteresting and forgettable. It's a very forgettable story. I can enjoy Terminus when I watch it, but I don't remember much of it. Before I did my rewatch of it a few months back, I hardly remembered anything about it. I remembered it was kind of on a prison, which it kind of is, and I remembered the dog thing, and I remembered Nyssa leaves. That's about it. Everything else was a blank, because my mind was doing like 60s BBC. It was junking stuff it didn't think it needed anymore. Terminus, that's forgettable. Junk it. Get rid of it. And because of that, I was practically having to relearn the story when I was rewatching it. Terminus is one of those stories you go back and rewatch maybe every 7 or 8 years because you can't really remember what it's about. Legends of the Sea Devils is the modern version of that. It's a story 7 years from now, I'm probably going to be like, I haven't watched Legends of the Sea Devils in a while. What all happened in that flying pirate ship, Sea Devils? What else happened in that? It's just uninteresting and forgettable. And as one of my subscribers, one of my viewers, pointed out in the comment section of the review for Legends of the Sea Devils, he made a really good point. He said, and when you remember that this isn't a filler episode. This is a holiday special. And he makes a really good point. It's Nikayako, I think is his name. I can't pronounce his name. He's been watching the channel for a long while. And that's a good point. I think I would be a little more lenient with it if it was just a filler episode. If it was, just an episode in the middle of the season or kind of toward the end of the season. That's, very much a filler episode, like Curse of the Black Spot was. I'm willing to give it a little leeway because it's just a filler episode that's there to be a filler episode. This isn't that. This is a holiday special. This is one of only 3 episodes we're getting the whole year. This is Whittaker's penultimate episode. This is the episode that's supposed to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Sea Devils. It's only the 3rd Sea Devil story we've gotten on television. And it is their 50th anniversary this year. So this is supposed to be a big event. And instead it comes off feeling like a filler episode. And I definitely think that is a good point to make. At the end of the day, this episode doesn't live up to the, this should have been turned up to 11 and it wasn't. Not in any of the good ways anyway. It very much is a filler episode that's uninteresting, ultimately forgettable, and because of which it has a very low rewatchability for me. And I think that is this story's biggest flaw in cardinal sin at the end of the day. I would like to know what you think of that and what you think of this video and whether you found it interesting or not, or whether you agree with my point or disagree with my point. So comment down below because I always enjoy hearing back from you guys. Other things to do, click the like button and the subscribe button. Click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me on that. I have a P.O. box as well if there's anything you would like to send me. There's also a link to my Amazon wish list and my Amazon UK wish list down there as well. Most importantly though, thank you for watching.